welcome to Stitch and Bear Time. My name is Leslie, and Little Bear is taking a nap. Apparently I'm doing all these videos while he's napping. But we are starting a new kit for us today, and the one that I decided on is called Dashing Through the Snow, as you can see right here. I thought this was a good kit to do because we're just past all the Christmas stuff, you know, and January is just all about being cold. Not really, but it feels that way. I'm just cold and it's wintry, and this reminds me of winter. You know, it's not so Christmassy, it's just like winter stuff. So I thought this was a good stocking to do. This stocking was released in 2019. It is newer, but you know, it reminds me of the Winter Twilight stocking from 1997. And you can see that it looks different yet the same. I mean, the newer one, they took out the village. There is more white on the background behind the sleigh and the horse and the people than there is in the old one. The old one is just a little more colorful. But I thought this was a really good one. I do like all the white in the background and how it makes everything stand out up front for the sleigh and the horse and the people. I thought that was actually a really smart look. So we're gonna go ahead and start that one. Looking back on the Winter Twilight, if you really want that one instead, it is on eBay. I think I saw it for $95 on eBay. Again, it's one of those that's, you know, popular, like discontinued popular, but 95, I would say that's reasonable. At least it's not over 100 bucks. So I would say that's within my personal opinion of acceptable range for a vintage kit. 95 is okay. So let's go ahead and bring down the stocking here that I have hung up. It's partially done, and let's talk about a few tips and tricks that I want you guys to know about so you know how to put together this stocking, at least up to this point. All right, so this is about how far I am on this kit. It's a total of 98 pieces, which isn't very large for a Bucilla kit, but I will say expect this to take longer than what you're thinking. Due to all of the beading and sequin work that is part of this kit, it does make it take a little bit longer to complete it. A few things I want to mention. Let's just go top to bottom, which is basically how this kit is put together. Up on the top here, you see these wonderful snowy trees. I actually really like how they did this. If I get really close though, I'm sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. All right, there is black behind, oops, sorry, all of that. It doesn't bother me because when I think of it realistically, our trees, when they have snow on them, you'll be able to see the tree under the snow, right? So that's why I left it as is. I was like, that looks just fine. But for people that are doing this kit, if you don't like that look where you can see the black behind it, I would recommend using 3 strands of white floss rather than the 2 that they tell you to do. And I would actually change the beads a little bit. So I would either get bigger beads or beads that aren't so clear in order not to see the black behind them. However, I will point out something. You see that bead right there? That one I just placed because I liked it. But you can't really see it as well because there's no black behind it. Versus the other beads that had black behind it, you can actually see them better. So I feel like those actually stand out a bit more, the ones that have black behind them. It's a personal choice, but if you don't like seeing the black, get bigger beads or beads that aren't so see-through. These trees here, the green ones, they actually have several pieces to them. And just note that you actually put the tree together first before you get it on your stocking. So just keep that in mind. And just pay attention to the diagram because they have 2 different color sequins. So if you're just sewing without thinking, you might accidentally do all of them the same color. After I got the top portion done, it was time to move on to the house. This portion of the house here is not stuffed. None of this part is stuffed. The only thing that's stuffed here is the roof right here. And of course these little trees, right? I will say that these windows take a long time to do. So find a really good show or, I don't know, audiobook, so you don't have to think about it. You'll just be mindlessly sewing. All right, so one thing I want to point out about these windows though is that here in the instructions they say to do an outline stitch with one strand for all of this embroidery work here with the gray thread. However, when I was looking at the picture, I was like, why does mine look different? I didn't understand. So actually, if you do a close-up here, let's see if I can close up on this. Hi, Betty. Hi, little bear. It actually looks like they did a straight stitch for the windows, not an outline stitch. And for the curved parts, it looks like a back stitch. So it's actually a little different. I do believe that when they put these kits together, after they take the picture of the sample, sometimes they make last minute changes on the instructions. So it might look slightly different sometimes. I'm actually okay with what I did because I feel like it makes the window a little bit more like popped out there, like you can really see it. But if you like how it looks in the picture, I would recommend, like they said, one strand of the gray floss, but I would do a straight stitch here, and then anything that curves like this, I would do a back stitch, and you'll get that look that they have here in the picture. And then right now I have stopped at the roof here, which is, again, probably the only thing that's stuffed on this house so far. My guess is it will just be the roof and then the wreath that really stands out in the house when it comes to stuffing. But the instructions tell you to actually just do these little sequins and beads and then go ahead and applique and stuff it. When I read that, I was like, what? No way. I'm going to do all the embroidery work and then I'll get it on. But when they tell you to do something specific, you got to think it through. Think why? Why did they say that? So I stopped myself. I thought, why? And I get it. So when you look at this, imagine if this was all done with the beads and the sequins, and then I tried to applique all this on. Could you imagine appliquing all of this bottom portion on with stuffing, with sequins in the way? Nope, I can't. I figured that out. I was like, okay, I get why they probably said that. That makes sense. So I'm going to follow the instructions, and I'm going to do my beading, as you can see right here, and I'll put on the layer of sequins here. I have shown how to put on sequins before like that, where you lay them flat. I did that in my Under the Sea ornament video, so you can take a look at that. As far as layering beads on, let me switch cameras here. I'm going to show you that real fast, so you can get an idea of how that's done. Just want to show you something real fast. Look at this dog. Little bear. Buddy, hey, what do you think you're doing? Hello? Hi. Yeah, you're caught on camera. Hi. Please stop that. Every once in a while, he likes to get into things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna remove him from this situation. We will get back to our stocking. So I'm gonna show you guys how to put a string of beads on, like this stocking's gonna require you to do. I am using a different needle than what comes in the kit. This is not the beading needle that comes in the kit. I had like 4 size 11 Dritz needles, Dritz quilting needles hanging out in some of my stuff, and I just got curious to see if those would work, and they do. They're small enough for the beads. I don't think I'd recommend these necessarily because how short they are. I would probably find actual beading needles with a bigger eye, so it's easier to thread. But that's why I use this one, because threading this is so simple. It's just so fast, and I'll probably use them until they don't work for me anymore. But I understand the beading needles that come in the kit can be difficult to thread, so just try other ones and see what works for you. So the way you want to do this is you actually want to grab, 4 of these, 4 of the beads that come with the kit. One feels like it's gonna fall out. There we go. I grabbed way too many. So you're gonna put these beads on your needle here, and like, I think her name was Trisha. Like she said, go ahead and just put these on like a paper plate or something, and you can scoop them. That's a great way to do it. I just grab them. I like to grab my beads, I guess. So there's 4 on there, and you're gonna pull them through, okay? And then I just kind of let it lay down to see how it lays. And then I'm going to put my needle down to secure them. And then because it's stuffing, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to adjust my needle. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to come up pretty quickly afterwards so that I can secure the last 2 beads. That way I'm not going all the way through the stuffing and causing me problems on like having little indentations in this piece. Again, if you want to try and do the beads and the sequin work prior to putting this piece on your stocking, you're free to do so. It's your project. You can definitely do that. But I'm just going to follow the instructions for this and do what it says. All right, I'm just going to pull that through. This needle is supposed to go back through the last 2 beads, okay? Like so. And then you're just going to pull that and then just make it nice and tight, okay? And there you go. Now you got 4 beads on there, and I got a line of beads going, and I'm just going to keep doing this until all of this line has been completed with beads. And I got a lot to do, right? Because look at how many lines are on here, and then I got to layer on sequins. So another thing I want to mention about these windows over here, these actually have window ledges. The other windows do not. And I would recommend getting the window ledges stitched on after you embroider this piece and then put the beads around. It's going to make sure that your beads start at the correct spot, because I definitely could have accidentally put the beads starting lower and then have an issue with getting my window ledge on. So I would recommend get the window on, do the embroidery work, get the window ledge on, and then do the beading around it to complete the look. One last thing I want to mention about this stocking so far is it's different from others because there are different sections to the background stocking itself. All right, so what do I mean by that? Because I can see how that might be confusing. You don't cut out an entire piece of stocking and then work on it like some other kits. This actually comes in pieces. So this is a piece here, this is a piece here, this white part, okay? So blue piece, white piece in the background, and if you look over here in the picture, I thought this whole white piece in the background was also one, but it's actually also 2. It's actually this piece here of white in the background, and then this piece here of white in the background. So there's actually 4 small background pieces all sewn together to create the stocking shape. Because of that, I really want to emphasize how important it is not to cut out your back piece right off the start. This is how I store the back. I roll it up and I just pin it, and it just hangs out until the stocking is done. And notice that I didn't cut on the line. I actually left a lot extra. That is so if my stocking ends up too big, too small, whatever, it's gonna fit onto this white felt piece. And I kind of ignore the lines a little bit. So particularly important on this stocking, because if I'm piecing the background too, blue, white, 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 then this could end up being slightly different shape than what, you know, this outlined stocking is. So just make sure you have extra around it, and I like to just roll it so it doesn't have any creases to it either. And that's it. We are about that far. So the next video, you guys will see this all finished, and I will do a very close-up, slow video so you can see all the detail on the stocking. I think that's just what's missing sometimes. You just don't see everything in the picture. So that will make you fall in love with it even more, I'm sure. But I will see you guys all next time with my new video. Thank you so much for watching Stitch and Bear Time, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.